7 goblins bought a house, and the next second Snow White burst into their home. She said she was a princess from a neighboring kingdom, driven out of the castle by her stepmother's conspiracy, and begged the goblins to take her in. Upon hearing this, the 4th goblin leered obscenely and decided to inflict inhuman torture on the princess, but his companions quickly stopped him. The next moment, the 4th goblin was sent flying by a punch from the princess, who even flashed a fierce look and warned the goblins not to touch her casually. The others were confused. This goblin was the runner-up of a Brazilian jiu-jitsu competition, yet he couldn't beat a little girl. It turned out that in the neighboring kingdom, social status was determined by combat power, so as a princess, her fighting ability was extremely outstanding. The princess tried to make them hand over the house obediently, but the goblins refused immediately, for they had worked hard for 10 years to buy this house. Then the 5th and 6th goblins decided to hypnotize the princess, believing that no matter how strong she was, she would succumb to hypnosis. The 5th goblin had just pulled out a coin when the princess knocked him out. The 6th goblin thought his method was too outdated. Nowadays, hypnosis could be done with just a mobile phone, but the princess closed her eyes and sent him flying with a single punch as well. The princess said she didn't want to use violence to make the goblins give up the house. At that moment, the 1st goblin stepped forward, but before he could say a word, the princess knocked him out too. Next, the 3rd goblin disguised himself as a witch and handed her an apple covered with deadly poison. One bite would leave her unable to stand, but the princess stuffed the apple into his mouth instead. The princess thought no one would dare to resist anymore, but then the 7th goblin stood up. Legend had it that when a goblin was enraged, it would awaken into a once-in-a-millennium super goblin. Seeing the 7th goblin transform into a super goblin, the princess was shocked, but the next second, he was also knocked out. The 2nd goblin begged the princess to let the 7th goblin go. The princess, seeing that he seemed important, demanded that the 2nd goblin exchange the house for him, but he refused. The princess decided to teach the 2nd goblin a lesson, and the next moment, he knelt down and stopped resisting completely.